In the bustling hallways of Ridgemont High, the excitement for spring break hung heavy in the air. Mark, an ordinary teenager with an extraordinary sense of adventure, was buzzing with anticipation. His plans for the upcoming vacation had consumed his thoughts for weeks. Cancun, here he comes. As he scribbled down some notes in his worn-out notebook during math class, Mark couldn't help but daydream about the sun-kissed beaches, wild parties, and unforgettable memories that awaited him in Cancun. He'd gathered a tight-knit group of friends, each equally eager to embark on this epic journey. Sarah, his closest friend since childhood, had already started planning the itinerary. Jimmy, the life of the party, was stocking up on his favorite party supplies. Emily, the responsible one of the bunch, kept reminding everyone about sunscreen and travel insurance. And then there was Mark, the dreamer, the one who had orchestrated this adventure from the beginning. In the days leading up to the trip, Mark packed his suitcase with the essentials: swim trunks, flip-flops, a stash of cash, and his trusty GoPro to capture every thrilling moment. He imagined the Instagram-worthy photos he'd post, the envy of his followers, and the jealousy-inducing tales he'd tell when he got back home. Finally, the day arrived. Mark, Sarah, Jimmy, and Emily piled into a rented minivan, their hearts pounding with excitement. The road to Cancun stretched out before them, an open invitation to adventure. The radio blared a catchy tune and they sang along, the anticipation fueling their journey. Cancun greeted them with the warm embrace of tropical air and a vibrant atmosphere. The group quickly settled into their beachfront hotel, their heads filled with dreams of beach volleyball, snorkeling, and endless margaritas. The days passed in a whirlwind of fun and laughter. Nights were reserved for the liveliest parties, where Mark danced until his legs ached and lost track of time. One fateful evening, amidst the neon lights and thumping bass of a beachside club, Mark found himself separated from his friends. The alcohol had dulled his senses, and when he tried to retrace his steps, the once familiar surroundings became a disorienting maze of shadows. As he stumbled through the labyrinthine alleys, panic began to claw at his chest. The vibrant energy of Cancun had transformed into something sinister. Mark's heart raced as he realized he was hopelessly lost. Suddenly, strong hands gripped his shoulders, yanking him into a dimly lit alley. Before he could scream, a cloth soaked in a sickly sweet odor was pressed against his face. His vision blurred, and his limbs grew heavy as he succumbed to darkness. Mark awoke in a cold, damp cell, his head throbbing with pain. The room was filled with an eerie silence, save for the distant echoes of tortured screams. He strained his eyes to see through the darkness, revealing the grotesque truth. He was not alone. Caged beside him were others, their faces etched with despair. As Mark's eyes met theirs, the chilling realization dawned upon him. They were trapped in the clutches of a sadistic cult, far from the paradise they had imagined. Days turned into a nightmarish blur for Mark and his fellow captives. Their tormentors, clad in hooded robes, reveled in cruelty that knew no bounds. The cultists performed grotesque rituals, their actions incomprehensible and horrifying. The screams that had once echoed in the distance now came from the mouths of Mark's companions, their faces etched with unending torment. In the suffocating darkness, Mark's mind raced, desperately seeking a way out. He needed to find a weakness, a crack in their captor's facade. One evening, as he listened to the cultists' chants and the agonized cries of those around him, he noticed something, a flicker of vulnerability in the eyes of a cult member. With newfound determination, Mark began to observe, learning their patterns and identifying the moments when the cultists seemed distracted. Slowly, he gathered a group of fellow captives who shared his resolve, forging a silent pact to escape this living nightmare. They bided their time, waiting for the right moment to strike. As weeks turned into months, they grew gaunt and weary, but their determination remained unbroken. Each day they whispered plans and devised strategies, inching closer to their elusive freedom. Then, one fateful night, their opportunity came. A fierce storm raged outside, masking their movements with the sound of torrential rain and booming thunder. The cultists' attention wavered, and Mark's group seized the chance to overpower the guards. In the dimly lit chamber, a brutal struggle ensued. Mark and his companions fought with every ounce of strength they had left, driven by the desperate need to escape the clutches of the sadistic cult. The air was thick with tension as the storm raged on, providing cover for their daring escape. By some miracle, Mark and a few others managed to break free from their cell. They navigated the labyrinthine passages, relying on their memories and the cover of darkness. The storm outside raged as if nature herself was aiding their escape. Through narrow corridors and hidden passages, they finally reached the surface. The rain soaked their battered bodies, cleansing them of the horrors they had endured. But their ordeal was far from over. They were in an unfamiliar wilderness, miles from civilization. Mark and his companions embarked on a harrowing journey, relying on their wits and their determination to find help. As they stumbled upon a remote village, they shared their horrifying tale, and the villagers rallied to their aid. Rescue teams were dispatched, and the sadistic cult was dismantled, its members brought to justice. Mark and the survivors returned home, forever scarred by the nightmare they had endured. Though they had lost the innocence of youth, they had gained an unbreakable bond forged in the crucible of horror. The memories of Cancun's paradise had faded, replaced by the chilling tale of their escape from a cult of sadists. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more stories. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me create more great content for you. Until next time.